content is not for everyone, and that's okay. Today is currently January 16th, 2026. I am my biggest cheerleader, and I say that respectfully. What's love if they can't relate to you? They had to justify at the end that they actually meet you halfway, only because you was emotionally intelligent at the end of the day. How someone had to tell so many lies when it came to pouring into you. Even on your rainy day, you knew how to respect somebody. They had a devil endowed with spoilwork to bring confusion in your life, all because they try to keep up with their narrative when it comes to their pointless conversation, or because, hold on one second, they didn't want you to hail on smile. They wanted to ruin your reputation, all because you was holding it down. They didn't like the fact at the end of the day that you knew how to come your best self vision of yourself. Your biggest cheerleader that truly brought their world down. How someone could truly walk into you at the end of the day to realize, hold on one second, you ain't the vibe for them. But they try to put you in competition when you was never competing. They see a light within you at the end when they come to your intuition. How they try to dim your light, but you wasn't trying to get discouraged. They try to humiliate you right to left. But this whole entire time they was plotting on your downfall, all because they didn't want you to find balance to actually heal. Imagine loving the right person, what you thought you did. Only was the hold on one second, you had to understand that empty cup hits different. Only was that allow in the future to see why you poured into you, to see why that cup was actually fruitful, to allow you to choose you, not to overlook you when it comes to your boundaries, because someone didn't know how to respect you. They fumbled you, try to spin the block today, but hold on one second, it's too late. When God's protecting your heart when it comes to your mental health, they will never understand how you truly step in to understand your reflection when it comes to, hold on one second, being comfortable in your own skin. How chicks and dudes would try to disrespect you, all because at the end that you was wearing your heart on your sleeve at the end of the day. Hold on one second, being emotionally intelligent. You knew how to love somebody good day, bad day, misunderstanding day. You had so many unfair shared hands when it come to pointless conversations, when it come to someone disrespecting you, having a hand probably makes listening you with pain. But who would have knew that true love can allow you to see that, hold on one second, change is on the way? Because someone brought peace into your life Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just because when was that balance is different. Someone truly showing you that they gave you butterflies within. Someone truly showing your worth that hold on one second was far from a pointless conversation. Only was the hold on one second, someone truly shows you your discernment is different. Because someone's truly irrelevant when it came to a conversation, when it came to your light at the end of the day, praying to go within it. Someone truly brought you healthy balance. They wasn't trying to have their cake and eat it too. Someone truly didn't have to confuse you. That energy is different. I may not make sense to the average person, but true love is not complicated even on your rainy day. And I say that respectfully, because true love is not supposed to hurt. And when the right person walks into your life, they see you, they hear you, they respect you with no misintention. I say that respectfully. Always be yourself, but no misintentions. Practice makes perfect. And my content is not for everyone. It's not. And that's okay. And never giving up on me. They was plotting on my downfall right to left. But I could relate to why they couldn't understand me. And I say that respectfully. Because I wouldn't be mad at me either. I would just mind my business. It'd be the train of thought for me. But everybody mindset not the same. How chicks and dudes would try to discourage you. How chicks and dudes would try to discourage you. You ever got lost in your words while the enemy's watching you? How this type of stuff actually happens. They praying on your downfall only because the hold on one second, your intention span actually work. They paying you out to be a crash out. But hold on one second, you understood your worth is different when it comes to communication, going within, not to hurt yourself with words. That energy is different when it comes to your reflection. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. You have to use your discernment properly. They would never understand that your past don't live in your reality. They keep trying to throw your past in your future. Something that they couldn't relate to while you communicate with you. You wasn't running from your reflection when it comes to taking accountability for your actions. They would never understand at the end of the day they couldn't humiliate you. You understood that growth hits different when it comes to, hold on one second, I ain't have to, use my gifts for all the wrong reasons. Even when chicks and dudes was throwing magic at me, the energy is different. You ever looked in the mirror to see how beautiful you are? How intelligent that you truly are at the end of the day, to understand your smile? You are beautiful regardless if you got a chipped tooth or not. They would never understand your big nose. How beautiful you are because it started within. Regardless who said you ugly, you not. At the end of the day, but it started with you to understand your reflection, to understand healing hits different. Because you had to understand not to be your own worst prisoner. They would never understand how time allowed you to heal you. Regardless of your culture, your religion, your sexual orientation, your disability, or your age, the end of the day would never understand your comprehension. It's different. You wasn't trying to fumble you. They would never understand that you was your biggest cheerleader. You wasn't trying to, cheapskate yourself out this at the end of the day. No. To lose you. Because there was so many chapters in your life where you almost did. You almost threw the towel in. Because you didn't have the proper support. You didn't have the proper love. You didn't know what love was. The disrespect was loud, but they would never understand the time of heal love. All those negative thoughts that came through your mind, hurting yourself with your own words just to treat yourself right. Very so much thing for the seed of the year. They would never understand how you pray differently to realize the hold on 1 second, God will show you aware. God revealed the devil low and the enemy. They would never understand balance is different when it comes to hold on 1 second. Take it accountability. Excuse me. Because your discernment was differently. Even when folks couldn't relate to you, the energy is different. They would never understand it was never competition. If I love me at the end of the day, the right people see me, hear me, respect me because I'm pouring into me. If I'm praying for myself, not to overlook myself, even when the devil tried to discourage me at the end of the day, to pray on my downfall, but I was far from a crash out because I understood the end of the day why I'm smiling more. If I'm asking God to show me why I'm worthy, I understood why I'm blossoming at the end of the day. And I was far from a joke from God because God allowed me to see. Because you walk by faith, not by sight. They would never understand that hold on 1 second, stepping for yourself is different. Didn't matter the time of the day when it came to hold on 1 second. Didn't matter the time of the day when it came to the days of the week. Even if you got lost in your words, they would never understand that hold on 1 second, I wasn't giving up on me. Because loving yourself, it's not a crime. And it don't make sense to the average person. But they would never understand how you understand time. Beating yourself up with your own words. That hurt. Yeah, you was the joke in certain folks' conversation because you had a discernment they can relate to. That was boundaries. He was far from thinking he was better than anybody. You just knew how to take accountability. The fact that you understood motivation is different. They would never understand that you had to believe. They don't understand how strong you truly are. Almost give up on yourself at the end of the day. Only with the hold on 1 second, God proved you wrong. Because God heard you. God saw you. God loves you. They would never understand a life they can't relate to because God wasn't making it dim. Loving yourself is not a crime, and I say it respectfully. I may not make sense to the average person, and I say it respectfully. I can't relate to a hater. Good day, bad day, or misunderstanding day, but I use my discernment properly when it comes to my future. I ain't talking about my past because I don't live my reflection. It don't live in my presence today. When it comes to my reflection, even when the devil was watching me, monitoring spirits all around me, they want me to get lost in my words. They want me to be in the mindset of losing myself, but I understood boundaries is different. I'm still understanding patience when it comes to time and day, how they say the grass ain't green on the other side, but that was truly a pointless conversation because that wasn't real. Because God was really showing me why I was the end of the day, because God was really keeping it real. Because you got folks that's praying for you, not against you. You got folks that's respecting you with no misintentions, regardless of came from poverty and pain at the end of the day. Regardless of the end of the day, they understand love, along someone respecting them. Because they always knew that one day the right people walk into life to actually see them. That ain't just different. Always be yourself, and I say that respectfully. Loving yourself is not a crime. It's not. I love to talk about love. Nah, I ain't gonna start off like that. But the fact that I found love, someone that could be relatable to you when it comes to having butterflies in your stomach, something to get used to. Someone's trying to poison you even on your worst day. Good day, bad day, even on your sick day. It was far from a pointless conversation. Who would have knew that true love wasn't pain? Someone was far from a hater. They didn't look at you like competition. Someone wasn't trying to distract you when it comes to motivation. Someone loved the beauty within you because you was willing to choose yourself. Who would have knew that someone wasn't wearing a mask to mislead you with pain? And it's just different. Someone brought peace into your life. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. and just because moments. That energy is different. The moment that you realize at the end of the day that you're passing over your reality today because someone disrespected you, they couldn't meet you halfway, they fumbled you. They didn't see your worth, let alone hold on 1 second until it was too late. Only for you to realize to hold on 1 second. Someone can relate. Someone can relate to seeing you, hearing you, respecting you. Someone can relate to the end of the day being emotionally available. Someone can relate to you at the end of the day not to kick you down. Someone can relate to you when it comes to hold on 1 second, maintaining your smile. You know that loyalty, they didn't have to try hard. Respecting you at the end, they just came naturally. So much so you showing at the end of the day wasn't trying to dim your light. Having a cake and eat it so wasn't part of your vocabulary. And y'all was both on the same page when it come to maturing. You gained a lover, best friend, a business partner. Everybody's walk of life ain't the same when someone truly showed at the end of the day why you believe in your faith. Someone brought peace into your life Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And just because moments. That ain't just different. Regardless of what chick or dude is preying on your downfall, seeing you the evil eye when it comes to a healthy relationship. Because hold on 1 second, God wants you to smile more. Because that was healthy love within. You know, all the obstacles and trial and tribulations that you've been through, they would never understand how you really went within. Understanding your growth is different. Maturing, acting your body weight, they would never understand that hold on 1 second, you found your reflection. You found better days ahead because God opened certain doors for you. They would never understand that hold on 1 second, you wasn't trying to lose you. You almost get one in a love department. You said I got one healthy relationship with them at the end of the day, but God, hold on 1 second, I'm just trying to smile more. No, I haven't changed though for me. Only for you to realize that hold on 1 second. Someone walked into your life and they didn't have to play with spell work. They was far from a hater when it came to your vocabulary. Y'all both was on the same page when it comes to understanding each other's reality. Coming from two different worlds at the end of the day. Poverty and pain. They didn't matter that day. But someone truly brought the best, like the most healthiest way. Maintaining the butterflies in your stomach. Got you smiling so more. Got you smiling more than ever at the end of the day. Everybody's trying to figure out what you got going on. But you just understood your worth, that someone could truly respect you, regardless to the he say, she say, when they try to disrespect you, when it came to someone loving you. But only was the hold on 1 second, not only did someone know how to make love to you, but loyalty came naturally. Someone respecting you became authentic. Someone valuing your time and they didn't have to play mind manipulation games when it comes to your mental health. Hold on 1 second, because they didn't have those type of strategy when it came to mind games, kicking you down. Because someone just wanted to bring the best out of you when it comes to your future. Because someone just wanted to see you smile more. That ain't just different. When someone's praying for you, not against you, that ain't just different. You know, because when the right person walks into your life, they see you, they hate it, respect you. They say fairy tales not real, but that's a lie. Because when the right person walks into your life, they ain't have to tell a lie. Because they wasn't doing it for likes and views or clout and fame. They wasn't trying to rob you mentally, spiritually, financially at the end of the day. They ain't have to devil and die with spell or magic or whatever the case may be, or hex your life at the end of the day. Or try to psych at your free will when it comes to your conscience. It came naturally genuine, authentic, a remedy that certain people can relate to. That hold on 1 second. How does somebody walk into your life that you see? How does somebody walk into your life to actually love you? How did you gain a best friend and a love and all in one when you have to get physical? You ain't have to disrespect nobody. It just got better with time and day when it came to your future. Someone be on the same page, loving you. Who would have knew? An even exchange. You know, my content is not for everyone. And I say that respectfully. I'm 13 minutes into this video, and it's 12:32 a.m. And I would never hurt myself when I say that respectfully. You know, people pick and choose who they want to bully at the end of the day. I would never hurt myself regardless of praying on my downfall. And I say that respectfully. Loving yourself is not a crime. You know, they say don't touch my anointings. But certain folks will never understand it. Hold on 1 second. They would never understand what's far from pointless conversation. When God shows you your intuition, a lot they can relate to, a vision within. You know, that light that God endowed with you when it comes to your blessing. Regardless if it came from poverty and pain, they would never understand that you was far from, hold on 1 second, overlooking yourself when it comes to your worth. Far from having a hate mindset, knew how to respect your neighbor when they understand their own worth, something they lack. You knew how to respect your neighbor, pray for them, not against them. Using your discernment properly, they would never understand that, hold on 1 second, it was part of your reflection. Even when you got lost in your words, they would never understand that, hold on 1 second, that confidence is different. You know, because chicks and dudes will put you in competition, all because you understand your discernment. You understood your reflection, being patient with time and day when it comes to balance, acknowledging your worth Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and just because moments. You know, they say ain't nobody gonna hear you when you speaking up for yourself, being a true teller, but never allow someone to dim your light at the end of the day to make you weak within. And I say that respectfully because the right people see you, hear you, respect you, but no misintentions. Kicking you down is not going to be part of their vocabulary. They want you to become your best self vision of yourself at the end of the day. Fall from, hold on one second, dimming your light. The energy is different. You know, healing trauma and pain is not a race overnight process, and I say it respectfully. It's not. And that's okay. Always be yourself. I may not make sense to the average person, and that's okay. But loving yourself is not a crime. The fact that they said that you was overthinking, or because they wanted to control the narrative when you was far from hating. You understood the receiver, hold on one second, a blessing they can relate to. That was confidence gone within. Far from competing when it come to being authentic. Far from a copycat when it came, hold on one second, natural. You know, being your authentic self, being your biggest cheerleader at the end of the day. You usually guess for all the right reasons. You wasn't like the, hold on one second, the pretending people. You know, the ones that got to control the narrative, trying to ruin your reputation, saying that you a crash out. Or because you believed in faith they can relate to. You wasn't running from your past because you understood that, hold on one second, you are worthy. You wasn't running from your past. You know, when you don't run from your past, and when you know how to take accountability for your actions, it's going to be individuals, regardless of man or woman. Doesn't matter who it is at the end of the day. Praying on your downfall. You don't got to know these individuals at the end of the day. But never stop showing up for yourself. I am my biggest cheerleader regardless who's praying on my downfall. I would never hurt myself, and I say that respectfully. You know, chicks and dudes will laugh at you, say nobody hears you. Chicks and dudes will laugh at you, say that you're not worthy. They would say that your swag is whack and corny, you are nobody. But you are relevant to the right people that's truly for you. You know, I don't push God on nobody because my content is not for everyone. But when God sends the right people into your life, they see you, they hear you, they respect you with no misintention. I say that respectfully. Because you know God's rejections, God's protection. They would never understand that light of hands at times, then they is different. Always be yourself. And it's not a crime to be authentic. It was never competition. You know, loving yourself is not a crime. I love to talk about love.
Love is real, love is one of a kind. What the right one truly for you.
The fact that the sun was actually shining when it came to your world, they would never understand how you actually healed. You know, that motivation was a strategy showing up for yourself. They would never understand that your vision is different. You know, being patient with time and day. Wow, being patient with time and day. You know, because you've been in domestic violence situations, hate crime, discrimination, you put a name in your book when it comes to your tax bracket. You almost feel at the end of the day, is love even real? Is someone going to finally walk into somebody to truly keep it real? Regardless if you got a speech problem or not. Everybody's worthy of a healthy relationship, and I say that respectfully, regardless if the devil tells so many lies. Because when the right person walks into your life, that pouring into you at the end of the day, that balance is different. It was never for likes and views or cloud chasing or fame, far from pretending. Someone didn't have to dibble and dab with magic. That energy is different. To get your time, they just like get your free will. Someone vocabulary showed at the end of the day that balance is different. When someone truly brought you peace in the most healthiest way, walking into the right person's arms, who would have knew at the end of the day, true love allow you to see your faith. Someone sees you, hears you, respects you. Someone praying for not against you. That fumble at the end of that was part of your past. Because action spoke louder than words when it comes to your future, how true love can truly last. You know, the he say she's at the end of the day, they dissing at the end of the day. You know, that person that talks about you, that person that talked about you like a bad habit when it come to your past. Now they trying to spin the block, but God said no. Only for you to realize, hold on one second. The love of your life ain't trying to let you go. Because they found a person. Finally, someone sees them, has them, respects them. And that was you that day. You know, that first conversation that you had with the love of your life when it come to date night? Who would have knew that your crush would have been your everyday crush when it comes to the days or the weeks, when it comes to the next season? Who would have knew that true love would allow you to feel? Having butterflies within became mutual at the end of the day for someone to truly keep it real. Even when chicks didn't know how to respect you, only because you understood that, hold on 1 second, someone one day would truly love you. And it won't be complicated at the end of the day. Because true love ain't supposed to hurt. Only for you to realize the, hold on 1 second, someone can maintain your smile. Because they was trying to have a kick and eat it too, to kick you down.
No, I haven't changed. Always be yourself.
I'm Niyah Genuine Love Respect, and my content is not for everyone. It's not. But true love is not supposed to hurt. And true love is not complicated. And when the right person walks into your life, they're not doing it for likes and views or cloud chasing or fame at the end of the day. They're not. Because when someone sees you, hates you, respects you, it was a prayer that was answered when they least expected. Because God is not on time, God is always on time. When you least expect it. Because you allowed yourself to start your healing process. And the right person walked into it to bring you to balance. To acknowledge your worth. And don't leave us to hold on 1 second. True love was supposed to hurt. It may not make sense to the average person, and that's okay. But I would never hurt myself regardless who's praying on my downfall. Individuals will pick and choose who they want to bully at the end of the day. But always be yourself with no misintentions. I'm far from a hater, let alone a copycat. It is not a crime to be authentic, and I say it respectfully. I'm Niyah Genuine Love Respect, and I'm 21 minutes into this video, and loving yourself is not a crime. When the right person walks into your life, not only do they see you, hear you, respect you, but they pray for you. Not only do they pray for you, they respect you, they're loyal to you, they're genuine to you, and don't got time to switch up at the end of the day, and especially when they truly for you. And they wasn't doing it for a script. They wasn't doing it for likes and views or cloud chasing or fame. When it comes to, hold on 1 second, giving someone access to your heart in the most healthiest way. Always be yourself, but no mistakes, and I say it respectfully. We all don't pray the same, and I'm far from a hater. But when God sends the right person into your life or the right people into your life, they're far from haters. They don't got to gang stalk you. They don't got to try to dim your light. They don't got malicious intentions towards you. They ain't trying to project hexes on you or seeing the evil eye. Good day, bad day, or misunderstanding day. And when they not for you, they keep it pushing. How individuals would take your kindness or weakness, and then when you start to speak up for yourself, they try to blackmail you against you as you the problem. But that does not mean stop showing up for you, because you matter and you are worthy. Loving yourself is not a crime, and I say it respectfully. I'm Niyah Genuine Love Respect, and my content is not for everybody. I go live every night on YouTube at 10:15 p.m. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. YouTube every night at 10:15 p.m. I'm Niyah Genuine Respect, and my content is not for everyone. Chicks and dudes be wanting you to have the mindset of being a crash out, but loving yourself to relate they can't. Chicks and dudes be wanting you to crash out, something they can't relate to. That was your confidence, being authentic, started within, using your discernment properly, praying and go within. They would never understand you as far from rejecting yourself. When chicks and dudes is praying on your downfall, right to left. They've been plotting on you since day one. How they want to act like the superhero in your life, all because you actually found yourself, to found balance to go within. We don't pray the same. Hold on 1 second. They like where your guard at now with your back against the wall, because they trying to rob you mentally, spiritually, financially. At the end of the day, hexing your life, but only was the, hold on 1 second, you continue to call your power back when it comes to your energy. They would never understand you wasn't trying to give up on yourself to better yourself. The energy is different. Love yourself, and I say that respectfully. Always be yourself, no intentions. I'm Niyah Genuine Love Respect. When God sends the right person to your life or people into your life, and you ain't got malicious intentions, especially a two-way street. Chicks and dudes won't act their body weight, not their shoe size. That blessing is different when certain folks is actually, cheering you on up close and personal behind closed doors with no malicious intentions. They ain't trying to do you wrong at the end of the day, as if your elevator don't work when it comes to having a 730 mindset or whatever the case that most to be at the end of the day, when you fall from needing a straight body jacket. How your past don't live in your reality today, something that you wasn't running from your reflection. They would never understand that you know how to hold your own weight, and I don't mean narcotics. Coming from poverty and pain, how you getting your life together for all the right reasons, how folks trying to mislead you at the end of the day because they want you to have a mindset of dealing with depression, anxiety, PTSD, because they praying on your downfall. But when the right folks walk into your life, they want you to bring the best out of you because they actually want to see you woke when it comes to your discernment. Loving yourself. Always be yourself, and I say it respectfully. I don't worship the devil good day, bad day, or misunderstanding day. And my content is not for everybody, and I say it respectfully. I'm 24 minutes into this video, and my content is not for everyone. Loving yourself is not a crime, and I say that respectfully. I am my biggest cheerleader, regardless to who's rooting me on or not. And I would never give up on myself, regardless to who's praying on my downfall, and I say that respectfully. Never allow someone's insecurity, jealousy, envy, or whatever the case may be, distract you from showing up for yourself, regardless if you're an entrepreneur or not at the end of the day, or you're a content creator, because you're mad and you're worthy. And the right people see you, hear you, respect you, and they fall from haters. No, I have to trade them. I gotta go. Always be yourself. And I'm gonna say this. I'm Niyah, Genuine Love Respect, and loving yourself is not a crime. Peace and respect, stop the violence. I'm Niyah, Genuine Love Respect, and I will never hurt myself. Today is currently January 16th, 2026.